Hi, everyone. Welcome to Levels. I'm Jeremy Long, joined as always by my co host, the Sportsnista, Cassandra Cousineau. CC, how are you?
I'm good. The people in my house just ordered some pizza. It's cruel and unusual punishment. I can't have any. And by the time I'm done, like it's gonna be gone. So I'm gonna have to go and find me
Well, did
something.
they at least honor you and have
Heck
veggie
no.
pizza?
No, what happens is the little girl likes to get the stuffed crust. So I'll have the stuffed crust with some marinara sauce, just like a couple of bites. I don't eat like you know how bougie I am. I'm not eating no Pizza Hut pizza, like for real, for real. So I'm gonna have me a little bite and move on.
You're like I don't eat pizza like poor people. Come on, get out of here.
Well, I just, I went to college. I did my time.
Okay, all right. I don't correlate going to college with pizza, but all right. Well, we'll make that comparison. Well, folks, you know what? They're like, hey, there's your boy.
Yeah, yeah, of
Send the
course.
pizza over there. You
Yeah,
know he will take any kind of pizza.
got real meat on it too.
Man, last week, if you guys missed it, we got an opportunity to chat with the greatest of all time, Clarissa Shields, and mix it up with her as far as what she's got going on. And, Clarissa, in typical fashion, she pulled no punches, and she let us know, man. So if you didn't catch it, go back to last week's show. You can watch it with her. Really, really amazing interview that mostly you conducted, TC. So hats off to you. And your boy, still, come on. He knows. He knows about that vegetarian pizza in studio. He knows all about
Yeah,
it.
it was good.
But this show is no different, man. In 2020, we know it was a weird year, COVID and all of that stuff. So we got little bursts of fights, and we got some coming out parties. Now the names you probably recognize are Holland and Buckley, and these guys like that. Well, this guy we have on today was supposed to be in that list. He was supposed to be one of those guys. That was his coming out year, man. So he had to postpone a little bit, a couple of injuries, COVID and things like that. But I think 2021 is going to be that year because he's already started it off with a great emphatic knockout. Because, I'm going to show you real quick, right before we bring him on. Soriano's knockout in December 2019 against Oscar Pichota, if I messed up his last name. Sorry, it doesn't matter. He got knocked out, so you can't beg right here. But check this out. Wow.
Man, listen.
Wow, man. My man went to sleep with his eyes open. I don't want to do that. That's scary. So
No. Mm-mm.
and I don't know what else to say after that. We just gotta
Bring
bring
'em
this
out.
guy in here. There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up? What's
The
up?
next
There
big
we
thing.
go.
Thank you.
Puna Soriano. Puna, thank you so much, man, for taking the time out, joining us. We appreciate it. First off, man, I mean, 2020 was weird for a lot of people and everything, and the build up was just like I said. It looked like it was going to be you're coming out, man. You had the great success on Dana White's Contender Series.
Mm-hmm.
You get the contract, you come in, you started out with that incredible knockout right there, and then it all went, kind of went to hell in a handbasket for everyone involved. But kind of looking at it, man, I mean, you start out this year with another strong knockout. Do you think this is that year that you start making a name for yourself amongst the fans?
I really hope so. Like you said, that was the plan last year. It carries on, no different. It's just whatever destiny has entailed for me. I know what I want to do, and I'm gonna work as hard as I can to do that. But we'll just see how the cards play out.
I feel like I've seen you since you were like a little baby in UFC, and now you're on the big stage. I was at the Contender Series night when you won your contract. I was late, so I kind of came in as you were walking out, and somebody tapped me on the shoulder, and they were like, pay attention. And yeah, I did pay attention. And then your first fight was at T-Mobile, and
Mhm.
you got your card sitting there, and people are kind of like, looking over their notes, trying to figure out who you are. So you've been content. Look, Quan is saying I'm always late. Listen, I got stuff to do, man. I got stuff to do. Just like y'all, I'm professional. But you started at Apex at Contender Series. You've been to Abu Dhabi. You've been able to fight inside of T-Mobile. Do you feel like all of those arenas have actually helped you prepare for anything now that comes at you?
Yeah, 100%. Those are some intimidating stages, I thought the T-Mobile was like one of the biggest things I have ever been to, and biggest stages I performed at. And then I saw the bright lights at Abu Dhabi, and man, it was another level. And I think from this moment on, it's just going to keep pushing me onto bigger and better stages. And I welcome it. I like that challenge, and I want more of it.
Jeremy mentioned that you were sidelined for a part of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
What was harder for you, dealing with the injuries, or kind of the mental part of the fact that you just couldn't go?
Yeah, shoot, kind of both. In some aspects, when I tore the labrum in my hip, I was literally in pain just all day, all night. Literally, the only time I wouldn't feel pain is when I was sleeping, and I would have to be like not moving. If I turn, I'm back into pain for a little bit till I fall back asleep. But if I lay perfectly still, I might be able to get like 2 hours where I'm pain free. But yeah, that really sucked. But then, it really ate me up seeing how everyone else had a really good 2020 despite all COVID and everything happening. Like, there's a lot of breakthrough fighters, a lot of guys doing their thing, and it just chewed me up so bad on the inside.
I felt like you would have been one of those guys. I felt like, we talk about it, when we're in the media room, people are all, we talk about what fighters we want to see, who we think are on the rise. And actually, your last fight, I jumped on a show with someone, and I was like, this is a guy who I want to see no matter where he's at. Because I feel like you continue to deliver, and you got this little baby face and this laid back demeanor, but you out here killing fools. You just sleeping them. Like, does that work in your advantage where you think people maybe underestimate you?
I hope so. If it is, I just hope it keeps going. Whatever it gives me more advantage to win, I'll take every advantage I can. I don't know. It's funny. I watched this last fight I had with my girlfriend as soon as I came home, and she said, like, it's weird watching me fight because there's like a look on me that like she doesn't recognize, she's never like seen before.
Yeah.
And it's just weird to her to see it.
Well, a lot of people may not know that you were also a teacher for a short time, or do you still kind of teach every once in a while? Do you still kind of teach every once in a while?
No, my teaching days are hopefully long gone. I was pretty awful as a teacher.
How'd you get the job?
Did the students see that look? Did they see that look?
No, they never saw the look. They probably only saw like a confused look because I was just as confused as they were every day.
What subject did you
I'm
teach?
5 feet, flat-footed, and I taught middle school history. I had to give some kids that look because they were just not gonna believe.
I was in it wasn't like special ed, but like there's a term for it to have like I don't know, slow learning, or not special ed, but like just a slower learning curve, I guess.
Okay.
But like man, I remember like some of the stuff they had to do was really hard. I remember going through the letters. Like, I don't remember all these sounds for a letter. Like, A is ah, and they have different stuff. And I'm like, man, does A really have these things?
It's just
I don't
apple.
know.
Shoot.
Dangerous minds indeed.
Yeah.
Dangerous minds indeed. So you live and train out of Vegas now. I think you're at Extreme. Is that
Correct.
Right? Okay, so right down the street here at Extreme with some killers, no doubt. But coming from Oahu, UFC now has this great lineage of champions that come off the island. BJ Penn and Max Holloway and these guys. Moving over here and everything, do you feel it's added pressure being there and trying to make a name for yourself amongst these legends that are even still competing now? Or is it more of just like pride, like, hey, I'm kind of following the footsteps, I'm hoping to be the next big thing, that comes out of Hawaii and everything? Or do you just not think about it at all?
Yeah, I don't really think about it at all. I think if there is any pressure, I think it only adds fuel to the flame for me. I love any type of pressure. I think it only makes me better. And I feel like being from Hawaii and having that long, proud lineage of
Right.
Hawaiian fighters, I really believe it only boosts me and makes me live up to that standard and push it even higher.
I feel like I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask you anyway. You surf?
Oh man, funny story. I actually don't surf, and that's probably like my biggest secret.
What's your family allowed it? How does that happen? So were you too busy training where like you were a different type of athlete, and is that what happened? Because I mean, I've been to several islands on Hawaii, and I know that the locals take it very seriously. And there's certain places you cannot go if you are not a local. I found out on North Shore, it ain't cute. Like you can't, like you ain't welcome there. Are you welcome there, even though you can't surf?
Oh, for sure. That's actually where I'm from, is the North Shore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm definitely welcome. I hope so, at least. I hope I'm welcome there.
I feel like
it's just funny, I remember surfing as like a I don't know, like 3-4 years old. I remember being in the water and my dad like pushing the board and stuff. But after that, I just played so much sports. I really just never had time to surf. And then by the time I had free time, like I was too old to suck that bad at surfing. There's like little kids out there like crushing it. And I'm just like trying to paddle out, just sucking out there.
But I bet the little kids can't do no spinning back kick.
So did you hide the shame, or did you always like pull a muscle or get a cramp right before you took the board up? Like, oh guys, my quad, man, I gotta put the board up now.
It was like a running joke with me and my friends when they would go and surf and whatnot. I would just come along and just wait for the photo, just wait for the picture everyone takes at the end. But I'll be on the sand the whole day waiting for them, waiting for one picture.
Did you get the wetsuit and all that and just pose up?
I would have if I had one. I would have went all out for that picture.
That's hilarious, man. The dark secret has been exposed.
Pardon?
Have you met any of your heroes yet? You've got 8 fights in UFC.
I mean, I met BJ and I met Max. Like that was like really cool. And now I feel like me and Max are. It's not even like hero. He's still like I look up to him. He's my hero and stuff. But like, I feel like we're like not on the same level, but like we're friends. I guess you could call it. Like it's cool.
You guys are colleagues, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's weird because I look up to him so much, but like we're colleagues. It's kind of strange.
Has he imparted any kind of wisdom in you yet? Has he ever pulled you inside? Hey, do this, don't do this. Anything like that?
Not necessarily don't do, but like he just I don't know. Just we talk. I fought on 2 of the cards he's fought on.
Right.
And I just absorb everything he tells me. He told me he loved me at the airport. That was kind of cool.
Oh,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, okay. So you mentioned you played a lot of sports when you were young. You ended up being a state champion in wrestling, judo. You were All-American in wrestling and everything. But before all that, when you were little, what other sport did you play? Baseball, football?
Yeah, I played everything. I played everything growing up, trying to find my niche. I played soccer for a long time, indoor soccer, outdoor. I played lacrosse for like a couple weeks until we didn't have enough numbers for our team, so the team kind of fell apart. Football, baseball. What else did I play? Yeah, just about every typical sport a kid plays growing up, except I didn't do wrestling and stuff until I was in high school.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't make the basketball team in 8th grade going into 9th grade, so I was like, I got to do something. So I just joined wrestling the next year.
You were just one of those kids, you just had to stay busy?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Our football team required you play one sport out of football season. So I ended up playing wrestling, and then a lot of the wrestlers go on to do judo after that. So I had a lot of friends in it, and I kind of just followed along.
Hmm. Wow.
You are still relatively young in your UFC career, but what lessons have you learned so far that you had to learn on the job, like once you got into an actual fight?
Man, there's a lot of stuff. I've learned so much things through only 8 pro fights. I learned.
They've been quick though. Your fights have been
Yeah.
quick.
That's why it's hard. It's hard to learn in that short of time. I've probably got the least amount of ring time. One of the top least amount of ring times, and it's hard to get better. But I can feel myself getting better on little things. I'm still throwing everything I can. And that's not going to change. But learning to breathe when I throw my shots, or just knowing when to put the gas on, just little things here and there I'm picking up with the wins, which is nice.
Can you hear, people have been remarking that, especially at Apex, that you can hear the other corner and you can also hear the commentary. Have you picked up any of that? Has any of that helped you out? You've been ear hustling?
No, I'm not trying to, even if I could. I think it's kind of weird. Plus, I'd rather just be in the zone. I tend to black out anyways in my fights. I don't really hear anything. I do remember in the Jamie Pickett fight was one of the only times I remember hearing stuff. It was eerily quiet. You couldn't hear nothing. And then all of a sudden you just hear my breath, and then I can hear his breath, and we're both just It's weird.
we're in a fist fight here on TV.
Yeah.
Your fight with Todorovic, I mean, it lasted, what was it, 47 seconds or something?
No, longer than that, I think.
But it was quick. Listen, it was so quick. I ran up to, I had the fight on my phone, and I could see it. And I needed to go in and pick up my food. I don't hang out in stores too much, but I was like, let me sit here. And then all of a sudden I just screamed oh shit. And people on the parking lot come looking at me I'm crazy. When you watch your fights back, do you get that feeling at all?
Yeah, I get I get all weird inside. I get super sweaty. I get shaky. I can barely hold my phone. My phone gets real shaky.
It's primal.
Yeah, it's weird. I still get that every time I watch it. I could watch the fight 1,000 times, and I still just get that weird feeling over it.
How many times did you go back and watch that beautiful KO I showed right before we introduced you with against Oscar Pichota? Be honest, man. How many times did you go back and watch that? Because that's beautiful.
Probably whatever the views on YouTube are or whatever of that video, I'm probably more than half. I had to live off that for a year. That's all I had to live off of for a whole year. So I'm just rewatching that for a whole year.
You dial it up with your girlfriend. You're like, hey, baby, hold on. Watch this. Watch this right here.
Before we do anything, before we go to the grocery store, before we go out to eat, I got to watch this real quick. Hold on.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll go get a hamburger. Hold on. Watch this. Watch this frame right here, though. This is when I knew he was asleep.
Basically.
We're going to let you go here shortly. Just got a couple of more questions for you. We're talking to Punahele Soriano, middleweight from UFC. If you haven't seen him fight yet, go to UFC.com and stay on top of the events. You're definitely going to want to see what he is all about. You got any idea when you're going to come back?
I'm going back home to Hawaii for a wedding in March, mid-March. So I would like to make sure I'm at the top of my game when I come back in. I was thinking around mid-May. Mid-May would be perfect for me, I think.
The hip is good?
Yeah, hip's good. I feel healthy.
How'd you do it?
I have no clue. I was
sounds like
I went through practice. And I was sleeping in bed, and I just woke up at 4 a.m. in the worst pain. No clue.
That's
weird.
not supposed to happen until you're my age, man. I wake up and my shit's all out of whack.
I was just about to say, I got a hip problem right now. I ain't kicked nobody in so long, so I don't know what happened with that.
It was rough. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, when you do make it back, man, who's on the call-out list? Who do you want to face, man? You're one of those names that's floating around there. I mean, you're a top. They put a prospect on it, but you're one of the top guys. So who would you like to face?
It really doesn't matter to me. I never say no to anybody. I go in there and I fight as hard as I can. So picking fights for me isn't hard. I'm never gonna say no. But I'm never. I don't want to say never. I'm just not good at calling my shots yet. I don't know. I don't know how to do that yet. I'm still learning.
Nobody's getting on your nerves.
Nah, I'm pretty chill. It's hard to get on my nerves.
Oh, I bet.
We gonna see, Puna. We gonna see. Jeremy, we have a fun game that we usually play with some of our athletes. What you think?
Okay, all right, yeah, we'll do it real quick. All right, so Puna, this game is called Two Truths and a Lie.
Okay.
If you've never played this, that is, you tell us two things that are true about you and a lie, and we need to guess what the lie is. So we're going to give you a second to think about that, because we've already heard the surfing thing, so we know if you say anything about you or surfer, that's a lie. So Cece, I'm going to let you start real quick. Go ahead. What two truths and a lie about you?
So I have lived in more than 4 states. I just told y'all this one, so I can't say that one. I'm a really good ice skater. And the last one is that I used to have a baking business, and I'm a really good baker.
I've known you for a while, so I'm going to say the lie is the baking, because I've never seen any baked treats. And if you are a baker, then now I'm pissed because I've never seen any baked treats.
What do you think, Puna? Which one is a lie?
That sounded like pretty fair reasoning, and I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon.
You think the baking is a lie?
Yeah. Plus, I see Oreos in the back, so I think bakers don't have Oreos.
Oh my God, they're back there. These are the kids' classroom Valentine's Day stuff that I got to bring to their school. I'm an awesome baker. I actually made a grip of money in a catering business. It was a side hustle for a minute. I have lived in 5 states, and I can't ice skate. That's the lie. I can't. I'm having trouble standing on my own 2 feet without some blades attached to it.
Okay.
That's a lie. You can check my Facebook, dude. I'm baking all the time, Jeremy. I just made homemade bread, cinnamon buns.
Look, I only count what I'm eating. I don't get a body like this. Looking on your Facebook for treats, man. And you've never shared those with me, so you know what? We're unfriended until the end of this show.
Oh, damn.
All right, so we'll jump ahead to Puna here. Give us 2 truths and a lie about yourself. We know the surfing. You don't surf.
Oof.
You were a teacher. You made some children cry, I'm pretty sure. And so let's see what else we can find out about you.
Man, that's like everything to know about me. But let's see if I can figure something out. So 2 truths and 1 lie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. I broke my front tooth in a game of dodgeball. I lived in Iowa for 5 years. I like cats. I'm not a good. I'm also.
Was
not
that
a
a question?
That's a lie. That's a lie. You don't like cats. You got a big ass dog.
I do. I have 3. I've got 3 dogs. Yeah, I don't know.
That was a question.
What were you doing in Iowa for 5 years?
I went to school there, and I wasn't very smart, so I had to do an extra year.
Oh,
well, that's just Iowa.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
You broke a tooth in dodgeball?
Yeah. So I dodged one, and I slid, and if this is the court, it was like right here, and I saw another one coming. So I turned my head, but I turned it with my mouth open. I just ate the court, and you could hear it was in slow motion. You could hear the shards of my teeth just bouncing on the court, crunk, crunk, crunk.
Oh,
It was heartbreaking.
Oh,
Sound
man.
like a fight should have broke out after that.
I was too heartbroken. I couldn't.
How old were you?
I think I was like 21, 20.
Oh my God, you weren't
old.
even a kid.
Yeah. I wish I was a kid when it happened.
Oh man.
You're a grown ass man and you're doing that. All right, man. Well, that makes up for the surfing thing then. Okay. Well, yeah, that is heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking to know, man. Well, Puna, we want to thank you so much for your time, man. We know you're busy out there training on the streets and everything, so we can't wait to hear more from you. Hopefully, in the way of emphatic KOs as you start leaving your mark in the UFC, man. And you seem like a very upbeat, positive, laid-back guy. So we know the beefs are going to be out there, but they're not going to be sticking around too much, man. You settle all your stuff in the cage. So thank you for your time, man. Thank you, and best of luck down the road. We can't wait to speak with you again.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it so much. It was fun. It's fun being on.
Absolutely, man. And buy you a cat, man. I'm sure the dogs will love it.
For sure.
Take care, man.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. See ya.
There you go, man. He said, I like cats.
So, and I've seen his Instagram, so I'm like, you have some big ass dogs. So, definitely one to watch. In that middleweight division is going to get interesting. It looks like Izzy's going to be moving on pretty soon here, and it's a little bit crowded at the top. You still got some OGs there, but these young guns are coming, and I feel like. One of the advantages that Puna has is that people haven't seen a whole lot of him yet. So it's hard to get, any kind of like footage on him and figure out what you're preparing for, other than he's knocking fools out. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You hit the nail on the head. This guy is he is a All-American wrestler. He is a state champion wrestler, judo and all that. And in UFC, we haven't even really seen that. He has 2 first-round knockouts, emphatic fashion. Of his 8 professional fights, he has 5 KOs, 2 submissions, and 1 decision. So we haven't even seen every facet of this young man. So I think it's really incredible to watch because, you can hear, I know his last couple of fights, and I know you and I watched them. Well, you can hear Daniel Cormier saying, oh, this guy's a great wrestler. He needs to change levels and wrestle and all that stuff. But right now, the power is working for him.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't even seen his wrestling game. We haven't seen his ground game or too much of judo and his stuff like that. So it's going to be very interesting to watch his evolution as he gets higher and higher into the rankings of the middleweight division.
Dude, and he's got an X factor too. Very marketable. He's not a pain in the ass. It's not going to be a problem for Dana. He shows up, does what he's supposed to do. He was early for us, and that's kind of how he goes about his business. And that's an easy kid to book.
Right, easy kid to book. And I would say maybe he's very chill and everything. Maybe the one drawback is that modern UFC is you need to start shit with guys to get attention. It seems like you need to talk all the trash on Twitter and everything else. And that just doesn't seem like his style. It's more like maybe a Brad Tavares, who's also in the same division, who's also very laid back and very, Max Holloway doesn't do too much trash talking. He's very laid back and chill. They just let their, they let their fights do the talking for them.
Completely turn it on when he gets in the cage.
But, hey, man, you keep giving knockouts like that, especially, in the first round and putting guys away, you won't need to talk anything. So, beautiful, beautiful stuff coming from an up-and-comer, man. So there you go.
Nice. Very cool. We got some fights happening this weekend.
Yeah. Tell us who you're liking in the main events.
This is a weird card to me. It almost feels like it's not even done yet.
Right.
Like feels like it's just kind of a weird thing, but I think I'm picking all the favorites.
Okay. Well, I mean, Overeem comes back. Alexander Volkov as that main event, which is a good, that's a solid heavyweight fight. It's not anything that's going to do. I mean, honestly, I'll take that back. I'll run it back a little bit. You know, in the heavyweight division, you're never more than 1 or 2 wins away from being in that title picture because of how thin that division is. But, you know, in a couple of weeks, Valentine's Day weekend, actually, you know, your boy is back. Usman is fighting a very tough fight against Gilbert Burns, man.
I will be there.
I think that's going to be a barn burner. You talk about 2 tough as leather kind of guys.
Yeah, and they know what to expect from one another. You know, they're friendly. They've trained together for quite some time. They've talked about it. But this fight has been, you know, booked and non-booked and rebooked for so long. It's going to come down to kind of like who best took advantage of that time. You know, who didn't overtrain. You know, who didn't get too caught in the weeds, like cerebrally, and, you know, what they need to do in this fight. I think it's going to come down to kind of like little things like that. But I also just think Kamaru Usman is just a tough dude to fight. I mean, he's just, you know, super strong, will stand there and bang with you. And then we know his wrestling is very good as well. So,
yeah. And we saw, man, you know, he was noted for his wrestling, you know, him just taking down Woodley, beating him up, taking that title away. But also we saw the stand-up evolution there against Covington, doing his thing and making his mark. So, I mean, and that's not to take anything away from Burns. Burns is, you know, an incredibly well-rounded fighter who has kind of flown under the radar, you know, because, you know, maybe whatever it is, whether it's the language barrier or whatever for Burns, you know, he's kind of flown under the radar. But that's going to be that is a solid main event right there. I think that's going to be what old JR used to call a slobber knocker.
Slobber knocker. Yeah, I looked at the schedule before that was announced. I wasn't certain actually if I was going to go, and I saw that. I was like, yep, I will be there for that one for certain. It's Valentine's Day weekend. Where else should I be but at, you know, an MMA fight?
I don't know. Before you go, man, what do you think about a guy who's also fighting on this card this weekend? Michael Johnson's fighting Clay Guida, or 2021's version of Clay Guida. Michael Johnson is getting a lot of talk from the Poirier and Gaethje and those kind of camps, wanting to face off with a Michael Johnson instead of someone like a Michael Chandler.
Yeah, they're doing that for a reason, right? I mean, I think part of it is to get under Chandler's skin, kind of like push him back off the plate just a little bit. But Johnson's got skills. I mean, you know, he doesn't fight that often, and so people kind of forget in between time of, you know, what he's actually capable of. That to me is kind of another one of those like OG fights where like one of them is going to remind you how he got there. Not both of them, one of them.
One of them's going to stick around for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And it may very well be the end of the road for the other fighter. But, you know, Johnson, I think, is one of those guys. He's 20-16. You know, he's one of those guys. He has wins over Tony Ferguson and Dustin Poirier and these guys like that. And he, you know, damn near knocked out Gaethje in that barn burner of a fight, the 2017 Fight of the Year. You know, so he's a guy of capable of incredible highs and incredible lows, oftentimes in the same fights.
Yes.
He's so maddening because he has the skills. He has all of that he can do and unleash these things. And then he'll do something and get caught and get knocked out or submitted or something like that. And
he also falls in love with volume.
Yeah.
And that I feel like, you know, he's gotten caught a couple of times just because he goes in so often instead of kind of letting the fight come to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of, you know, Melvin Guillard kind of, you know, thing. You fall in love with one aspect or whatever, and, you know, for whatever reason, whatever goes on in the head during the fight, and, you know, then you get caught. And then it's maddening because when those bets come up, I got my guy John Como. He texts me almost every fight card, and he wants advice about betting, how he bets on teams and stuff. And every time it comes to a Michael Johnson fight, I'm like, push. I don't know. I have no idea which Michael Johnson is going to show up. Is he going to be the guy that beat the crap out of Tony Ferguson and caught Dustin Poirier with the sweetest uppercut I've seen outside of Francis Ngannou? Or is he going to be the guy who just gets caught? So there you go.
We're gonna see. That will be fun.
Well,
Will be fun.
that's it.
The pizza, I see the boxes being moved around, but I was able to put on some pre-COVID jeans today because I'm in the house all the time. Most of the days it might be like yoga pants. That's pretty much what's happening around here. But I was super excited that I actually fit these pre-COVID, so I need to celebrate. I'm probably gonna go get me like a fried fish taco.
That is the saddest sentence I've ever heard. Yeah, okay. You do
Extra
that.
guac. Extra guac.
You made me sad there. But well, thank you to our guest, Punahele Soriano, for joining us. Super incredible guy, man. I can't wait to see much more. Or I can't wait to see more of this young up and coming middleweight from the UFC.
It's coming.
Yeah, man, it's going to be something crazy. And you and Ralph together this week?
Yes, we are. We got a surprise coming. Moving some stuff around, but yeah, just want to, it is still International Girls and Women's in Sport Week. So that's what we're working on for tomorrow.
Okay, something special coming up.
Yeah.
What time can they join you?
Special, 4:00.
4:00.
Mm-hmm.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Same bat channel.
Well, not same bat time. I just totally, whatever. All right. So thank you guys for watching, joining in. Thank you to our guests. And TC Martin, we're coming for you, baby.